Today we are going over a little bit of background to the celebration Beltane. Hey guys, I'm Mel from Melsdivination. I'm the owner, the operator, and the creator here, and today is Witchy Wednesday, and on Witchy Wednesdays we do witchcraft-related content. That could be anything from pagan festivals, to celebrating the seasons, to book reviews, to spell work. The list is extensive. We have over 400 videos for free in our library here, so check that out if you're looking for any kind of content around that type of topic. We also have memberships where you can get a little bit more in-depth with content that I don't share publicly, so check that out. And on Fridays, we do Flip Through Fridays, and on the weekends, we do astrology for the upcoming energy. Feel free to hang out, subscribe, and you can also find me at melsdivination.com, where things are always being shifted and changed and uploaded and upgraded there. That has services that I offer as well as other types of content. As I said at the beginning of the video, we're talking about Beltane, which is a Celtic festival. It's celebrated on May 1st in the Northern Hemisphere. It marks the beginning of the warmer season that is often associated with fertility, love, passion, and blossoming of life. We're going to talk about a little bit of the history and ways to celebrate it, but I do just want to say before we get going into this too deeply, this does not make you more or less of a witch if you do not celebrate this or if you do not know about this. There's nothing wrong with that, number one. And number two, this is a very brief history. So there is so much more content that could be done about this. This is just a snapshot of Beltane for you all. The history of Beltane, it has ancient roots dating back to pre-Christian times in Celtic regions, and it is traditionally observed as the midpoint between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. Now, the spring equinox, I did a video about that already. We've already celebrated that. That was considered Ostara in the pagan community. This is more about we're almost at summertime, where everything's alive now, and we're really excited, and we're getting ready for the warmth of the season, and really starting to get awakened. And this happens a lot with animals as well, and they match the natural rhythms of coming forward. The name Beltane is actually thought to have Gaelic origins, and the festival was dedicated to the god Bel, meaning bright or shining one. In Celtic traditions, Beltane was a time to celebrate the fertility of the land, livestock, and people. Before I get into ways to celebrate it, I want to talk about two little things that you may have seen in pop culture about Beltane. One, Beltane, if you've watched any of the shows Motherland, which is from the Salem, it's on, I believe it was on Hulu. It was also on some channel on TV. I'm not even honestly sure because I don't have cable anymore. Or if you've watched Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, or the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, they talk about this. And Beltane is where people run around and have sex. Kind of. That's like a big part of it. It's a lot of sex, it's a lot of celebration, it's a lot of fire, it's animalistic, it's primal, it's feasting, and then there are things called hand fasting ceremonies, and we'll talk about that in a minute. If you're interested in any kind of oracle cards that connect to this, I did already just do the Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle flip through deck. This one is a counterfeit one, but it does show you the rhythms, and if you notice, there's going to be a lot of correspondence of what I'm going to go over versus what comes through in the oracle deck. Now, different ways to celebrate. Maypole dancing. One of the most iconic Beltane activities is the Maypole dance. A tall pole is adorned with ribbons and people dance around it. Interweaving the ribbons is a symbol of the union of male and female energies, and it represents fertility in the vibrant energy of life. One other thought that just popped into my head is if you've ever seen or heard of the movie Midsummer, or Midsommar is actually how it's spelled, that is a lot of Beltane activities. It's a darker version, definitely, of like the twisted side of it, of where it could go, but there is some truth to some of the history that they do. I would not recommend watching it if you have a weak stomach or if you're sensitive to things, because it's not a very pleasant movie. Okay, next we can do bonfires. It's traditionally celebrated with bonfires, symbolizing the sun's growing strength. And people would leap over the fire for good luck and bring fertility into their lives. Remember, in pagan days, early pagan, I mean, not modern pagan days, back then, the goal was to survive and to keep your lineage going, to continue to produce and have heirs, have family. So fertility was extremely wanted back then. If you weren't fertile, there was something wrong with you at that time. Floral decorations is another one. You can decorate your home or altar with flowers, greenery, symbolizing the blooming nature of outside. Garlands, wreaths, bouquets can all be used to honor the fertility of the earth. Hand fasting ceremonies. Beltane is considered a favorable time for hand fasting, which is a pagan wedding ceremony. Couples may choose to publicly declare their commitment to each other during this season. Hand fasting is not legally recognized by, at least I believe, the country of United States. It is not considered a legal marriage, so just keep that in mind, but that is something that can be a lot of fun to do. Feasting, having locally sourced ingredients, honey, dairy, fresh fruits, sharing a meal with loved ones, and celebrating the abundance of the incoming season. May Day, May, literally May and day, that falls on the same day. So May Day celebrations bring in festivities, which could include processions, music, community gatherings. It has become a synonymous energy with Beltane in many cultures. The seventh thing you can do is create sacred spaces. Setting up a sacred space or an altar with symbols of fertility, such as flowers, candles, images of the maypole, using colors associated with Beltane, such as green, white, or red, is a great way to do it. And it doesn't even have to, you can do it on the down low. You can be sneaky about it. You don't have to be obvious about it. Nature walks, we've talked about this before multiple times lately. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but connecting to the natural world, taking a walk in the park, the forest, or other natural settings, observing the beautiful flowers in bloom and trees and wildlife and how things are really coming to life. And finally, divination and rituals. Divination and rituals. Performing divination rituals or other ceremonies to seek guidance and blessings for the upcoming season. It is a great time because it's considered a time when the veil is thinner between the spiritual and the physical realms. Now, just remember, this is based all on your personal beliefs. Do what makes sense. Leave the rest. Don't feel pressure. Don't pressure others. You can adapt anything to what fits for you and incorporate your own festivities. I'd love to hear if there's something that you like to do during Beltane that I didn't talk about. Share it in the comments below to the community. Don't judge each other. Remember, this is a snapshot of Beltane. This is not the end-all be-all of everything around Beltane. And I hope you have a wonderful season of Beltane. Also, check out the Beltane flip-through if you are interested in that. Bye.